How you doing, mate? How you doing, mate? Yeah, I know. Have you met? I just do this show now. I'll be back.
They replaced the Aborigines, though, didn't they? And was that okay? Yeah, I mean, did you go there with passports? Did you have any immigration officers when you went there?
South Africa.
And you don't
South Africa. Who killed 21,000 people in concentration camps in South Africa in 1903? Do you know who killed them?
Say that again.
White South Africans who killed 21,000 white South Africans. So you don't know. You don't know. The British,
What do you mean you don't?
the British ruling elite
That's the Boer
went to
War.
South
That was in the
Africa.
Boer War.
They were
was in the
quite
Boer War.
happy for the Boers to be there. They were quite happy for Southwest Germany to be
sets of
German
white tribes
until they
fighting
found
on things
gold
that they don't belong.
in the Gold
They don't own.
Coast. And then the British traitors, who were against their own people, they rounded up the Boers and committed a genocide against them. And that we're not taught this. We're not taught any of this. That the British, they're not racist. They're out for the money and power, and that's all they care about.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the white race is under attack?
Of course it is.
In what sense?
The population, they used to do the percentage of the world.
That's just a pretty face.
So immigration, right? Are you saying immigration?
What's your take? What are you here for?
Animal activism.
Huh?
Animal activism, doing
What
a
does
bit of
that- what
vegan
does that
stuff.
mean?
We're all vegans here trying to promote the vegan message.
What is that?
So we abstain from animal products where possible. So we're trying to get other people to do the same for ethics. We don't believe that you need to kill something, particularly in this day and age. People have access to lots of food and other forms of clothing. So why continue to kill harmless animals?
Okay. And what's the message otherwise? Anything?
The message is
How did you think up this thing about bringing a TV screen? I find that a bit odd.
this
It's unusual,
is
but
standard UK slaughterhouse footage.
Right.
It's something that a lot of people aren't aware of.
right.
So a lot of people think of their meat, they just think it's food. They're not aware of the actual practices that go in.
And why did you become a vegetarian or
Because I like
vegan?
animals.
And when was this? Was it something that happened to you at a certain age? Was it something your family influenced? What led you to become a vegan?
Had pets died. I was close to them, realised that these animals have a consciousness, a desire to live, personalities, and couldn't really justify it anymore to pay for their murder.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
No worries. If you do want to, I'm sure anyone else is happy to speak to you. Lots of stuff.
Well, that's a message.
Would you like?
We're here every week, so we cover Speaker's Corner. It's a show about Speaker's Corner, so I try and move and catch to different people, yeah? All right?
Enjoy the service.
See you later.
Defense mechanism is what? Defending from what? Defending from what? Being eaten? Does it know it's being eaten?
No,
How you
because
doing,
there's
right?
no brain, there's no
How you
sense.
doing?
Does it know it's being eaten?
He doesn't want to have that recorded, no problem. How are you, all right?
Before the Dutch attacked them.
Bro.
Exactly.
Okay,
You can fool people, but not
Ronald
anyone.
Reagan was an actor. Nobody complained about him becoming president of the US. I'm talking about. Yeah, but hold on. You're jumping all around the place. You're not making a single argument here. I'm telling you
I'm
this.
telling you
No,
this
wait.
because I
Wait.
passed through your
You
experience.
complain
and
when I
I'm telling
interrupt you,
this.
but you keep interrupting me.
We have
What
the same.
point is
I'm
there
in
in
border with your
conversing with
country,
you?
so I know what's happening.
What
I'm
point
telling
is
you,
there in having a
I'm telling you
conversation?
this. We have the same problem.
No, you're telling, but you're not
We
listening.
own
That's the
everything.
issue.
And now after
You're
30
saying
years,
you're
we don't
speaking,
own
but you're
nothing.
not listening. You have 2 ears, 1 mouth. You should listen more that you speak. You know what I mean? You're just being disrespectful.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful because you're gonna fall in a trap.
Careful with what?
What's happening
With
now
Russians
is not.
invading us
Listen
right
to
now.
me. What's happening? This war, because it's a war. You have right.
It's a war.
It's a war.
We were invaded by
In
Russia.
this
Yes.
war, they're using your country, America and the NATO,
Russia is the
fighting
one
with
who's
the Russian in your
invading
country.
our
Brother,
country.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it's
Hold
true.
on, hold on.
It's
I
true.
love it. I love this. I love this so much. People manage to blame America and Great Britain when Great Britain and America are sending weapons to Ukraine to fight against an invading force in Russia. Russia is the one who's invading Ukraine.
But then there is a
asking, could you please send us weapons? Britain and America are like, okay,
For what?
we'll give you these
Why are they
weapons.
doing it then?
Lend-lease.
To send weapons of what? Let me put it in this way. No, I'm telling you this. You're gonna fight a
you're not
war.
listening.
Where is the war now? In Ukraine,
You're
yeah?
not listening.
From now on, say you're gonna keep the war for 1 year. In the end of the day, say you're gonna win the war. It's in Ukraine, it's not in Russia. Russia is gonna make like that. Fine, and you're gonna be fucked up for 100 years from now on. This I'm trying to explain to you.
So what they?
You're gonna
What
sell
you're
your
trying to explain to me is that an
You're
invading...
gonna listen.
invading- Hold
You're
on, I'll let
gonna
you
go
finish.
to Mondial
Are you
Bank.
gonna let
They're
me
gonna
speak?
give you
Are
money.
you gonna
You're
let
gonna
me
borrow
speak,
money
or are
from
you
them,
going
and
to
you're
speak
gonna be
over me?
fucked.
Okay, are you finished? Are you finished?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I'll address that now. So Russia invades Ukraine. Russia is a more powerful country militarily than Ukraine. And you come to me with the argument, how dare Britain and America send weapons to Ukraine so that the Ukrainians
I'm not
can
saying
defend?
that.
No, don't interrupt.
saying-
Don't
I'm
interrupt.
saying to
Don't
don't fall in
interrupt.
a
I'll let
trap.
you finish. I'll let you finish. Let
Don't
me
put
finish.
the words in
I'll
my
let you
mouth.
finish. Let me finish. You're blaming the UK and America for saying what they promised to do in the Budapest Memorandum, for sending weapons to Ukraine, for sending support to
Do you see
Ukraine
the international
to fight
agreement, what
against
they say?
Russia.
They give you
You're
peanuts up
blaming
to
them
now.
for you're
They
blaming
destroy
them
your country.
for doing what they promised to do in the Budapest Memorandum. And people like you just can't be pleased. If Britain and the US invaded Russia and stopped Russia from invading, you would say, oh, how horrible, they're escalating the situation. But if
why
Britain
they
and the
invade
US
you?
are not invading Russia
why they
and they're just
invade you?
sending weapons, you say, oh, they don't care
No,
about
listen.
Ukraine, they don't care about Ukraine. You
finish?
can't be pleased.
You finish?
I'm finished. Go on.
Why they invade you?
Who?
Russia.
Russia. Why did they invade us? Because Putin felt like he could get away with it.
Brother,
That's exactly why.
You have to
That's exactly
recognize
why.
you at least you are
Putin
cousin
has
as a country.
invaded Georgia, he
Brother,
got away
you
with
share
it.
the same-
Putin has invaded Belarus, he got away with it. Putin has invaded Kazakhstan, he got away with it. Go on.
I agree with the brother, and I agree with you as well. My wife is from Ukraine. I've been to the borders. I tried to help people in Shamisha, etc. We went to Lviv just recently. So just to say that I agree with you 100%.
No problem, go on.
But I didn't hear the full conversation, but I agree also that Ukraine falls in a trap, which is the trap of America, UK, NATO, West, call it whatever you want. Why? Because you can see it through history. Wherever USA puts just one step, wars happen. And America gets away with it. There is a Cold War between America and Russia. They fight it in Iraq, in Syria. They fight it in many countries in the world, as you know. They fight. Who's behind the scenes? Russia and America. Do you agree? Do you believe that Ukraine was being pushed by America for this war?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not.
That's incorrect. I'm
No,
sorry.
hold on. Now let me speak. Let me answer your argument now. No. Okay, so go on. Finish your argument.
So you don't believe that it's
No,
been
go
passed?
on. It's either I speak or you speak. Okay.
Okay, so Ukraine was just normal country after fall of Soviet Union, etc. They proposed to Ukraine to join NATO.
That's not true. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that.
They wanted to
Ukraine.
nuclear weapons.
Why is the main
Nobody
reason
spoke
why
about nuclear weapons.
Putin takes
Not even
Crimea?
one time, not even one
This is
treaty,
one of the
not
main
even
reasons.
one discussion about putting nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Nobody said so. In fact, Ukraine was part of the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons pact. Ukraine has given up its nuclear weapons, and you're telling me that they took away Ukrainian nuclear weapons just to give them nuclear weapons back.
No, I didn't say that.
This is ridiculous. All you need to do is to listen to your argument, and you'll understand that it makes no sense.
Rather, because I see the same story happening in Syria, I think it's exactly the same.
And Russia also invaded Syria, by the way. They bombed cities to the ground.
Well, according to
America
their
invaded,
president,
Russia
didn't.
backed the government. So Cold War is happening. There is a war outside of Russia
When
and outside
we talk
of
about
America,
invasion,
where
don't forget
America is
Ukraine
confronting Russia.
give assistance to America in Iraq. It's the first nation.
It
It is, of course.
What happened after a few years in other countries and now where? Now we're in Ukraine.
What, Syria?
What Russia wants to invade because NATO, etc. If you see the conversation between America and Russia, it's not between Ukraine and Russia. But it's between
No, Russia wants to invade because Russia feels that it can get away with invading. Because there was no reaction. Hold on. Okay, you've been talking for a while. Now let me answer your points. Okay. So this war has actually started in 2014, and it's been going for a very long time.
But that isn't the argument. That isn't the official argument, though, is it?
Sorry.
You're taking a kind of a maverick argument for as far as the Ukraine,
maverick argument.
as far as Ukraine is concerned, because Zelensky would never say the war started in 2014.
Do you agree? Wait. Heiko,
It just started now.
Heiko, do you agree that when one country gets invaded by the military of another country, that's a declaration of war?
Well, I don't know what the formal categories are.
Well, there
As
we
far
go.
as I'm concerned, probably
You can
yes.
look it up.
As far as
Yes,
I'm
that is
concerned,
a war.
probably yes.
Russia has invaded Crimea, annexed Crimea. That's a declaration of war. Russia has sent troops to eastern Ukraine, to Donbass. That's a declaration of war.
There's
So if
nobody's
anything,
officially
there
at
could be
war. That's
two
the point. Isn't
declarations
it?
of
Nobody
war
is officially at
already.
war at the moment. So you know. But I agree it began. I agree that it began in 2014. I agree.
If we're talking officially, Russia.
I agree it began in 2014.
Russia is not at war right now because they.
Well, that's what they say exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely, but they are at war. They just refuse to accept.
Right, but all I said was, fine. But all I said was, Ukraine doesn't say the war began 2014.
Yes, it does.
As far as I know, am I wrong?
I don't know which sources you've been
Okay,
listening
maybe
to,
I'm
but
wrong,
the war
maybe
in
I'm wrong.
Ukraine started in 2014. You can
But then,
check
okay,
any
the
source.
official news here is different then. Official news here is the
It's
war
not.
began
When they say
22nd of February.
Heiko, you're doing a game of semantics.
24th of it.
They
I'm
said-
just asking, that's all.
They say the war in
I know.
They say, well, this is our president.
I know.
Our gift to you. In 54, we're going to take that because you are a bad boy.
Right, exactly.
Everyone knows Crimea
Exactly.
is Russian part. Crimea as a land being part of Russia. We give you in 2000.
Great Britain was part of the Roman Empire.
Brother, when Maldives,
Should the Indians come here and just say, oh,
when
Britain is
Argentina
ours?
tried to take his islands back,
You
the
make no
British
sense,
in
man. You make no
86
sense.
they sent troops and they fought them in 24 hours. It's true now.
If Hungary invaded Romania tomorrow, would you say that's fine? Because Hungary used to have Romania.
Go to Budapest twice.
Because that's all you can have. Why are you so turned on, my man?
It's a different story, okay? Because one is Hungary, because one is getting invaded.
America is back.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Dollar.
You
know, dollar.
The war, the genocide which now it's in Ukraine is bad, and I continue to destroy you.
It's Ukraine debates.
Say nothing about him because look, he knows even the dead believe.
Although they're debating.
Some of you don't realise it. Jesus Christ is ruling over the nations. That's why he came into the world to take his place as the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. And the reason why he went down into death and became a slave and was obedient unto death was for your salvation and my salvation.
Is he baptized?
That's why Jesus Christ
I'm asking
came
you,
into
I'm
the
talking to you,
world
my friend.
to save sinners.
I'm telling you,
And salvation from sin has to be through the death of the sinless one. There's no other way you can be saved, Mr. Socialist. Only through the blood of Jesus Christ. That's the means of our salvation. You say, why? Why death? Why such a horrible, humiliating death? Why did Jesus Christ have to go through that? Because of your sin and mine. That's why. Because God said to our first parents, In the day you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will surely die. Death came because of sin. And that's why death has passed on all nations, because all have sinned. All have come short of the glory of God. And so the penalty to God's righteous justice was death. Death. Not only physical death, but spiritual death. So in order for death's penalty to be paid, in order for God's justice to be satisfied, Jesus Christ, the eternal Word of God, must become man and die in the sinner's place to put away sin by his sacrifice.
How you doing, Mike?
Yes. Jesus Christ has to pay.
Home, man?
It's such a shame that you said that
Parker.
He called me a silly bitch. He just called me a silly bitch.
Sue him. Report him.
Yeah, who debates like that?
Have a 15
Russia. I hope you're not supporting Russia as well.
Have a 15-month court case.
You're not supporting Russia.
We need a court case about
supporting Russia.
court case. What did he say to you?
Some odd views, I know.
Called us a bitch. Court case.
You can't debate.
How come when he's the
You
biggest
just call people names.
Did you call her a silly bitch? Court case. Court case. No, don't worry.
I know, you're speaking. He's a nice fella. He's a friend of mine.
I will be speaking. I will be speaking. How you doing, brother? So let's have an interview with you.
I don't like that on camera, you know.
Come on, you're behind it. What about standing here and talking this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, over the years, when did you start this Content Over Everything channel? And what was the idea?
I think it was 2016 I started.
Okay.
And the reason why is I used to film with a group of my friends and I was the cameraman. I wasn't reading the message, but what I noticed is that they wasn't interested in what we was capturing. They was more interested in how we're filming it, like the quality and techniques.
Okay.
So I was more interested in the content. I wanted to capture particular things like political discussions that affect how the world runs and all of these things. That's what I'm interested in. So I said, let me make my own channel, Content Over Everything. So I made it.
So when you started doing that, there were a couple of factors. One factor is the big audiences came from sort of inane clashes. And the other aspect is, if you look around now, you can't turn your head for a camera. So remember when we were discussing with the police at the time, they were saying one time they said, we're going to take all the professional cameras away and all that. So how do you think these two phenomena interrelate? You know, the idea that sensationalism is an important attraction, and second that, if you like, people are playing to the camera now. What do you think?
I recognise the potential for a large viewership from sensationalism.
Right.
But I don't rate that, I don't like that, because the quality of viewership you're getting is cheap, I believe.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have any it has an effect, but I believe it has a detrimental effect. The people that are watching it, it's like they're bloodthirsty. They want more blood, that's what they want to see, and then in effect the people that are being recorded and seeing those views and are being motivated by those views think how much more outrageous can I behave in order to get more of those views. That's what they recognize and as a result, serious discussion it dwindles.
Having said that, it's very lively at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't been there for so long, and I haven't been watching it, to be honest. for so long. So
Okay, but
I
you
don't
can
know.
observe now. You can see.
But right now it looks regular, like regular speakers' corner. People bunched up having discussions.
Yeah.
I don't know what everyone's talking about. I suspect it's mainly religion. You get me? But yeah, I'll have to walk around and see for sure to be sure. But yeah, I definitely do encourage, even if you are talking about religion, I encourage critical, honest, sincere discussions. So people who are genuinely interested in knowing what the truth is of whatever particular matter can arrive at that more easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think the benefit of Speaker's Corner is?
That has got the potential for people to discuss potentially what's the word, like ideas that are usually that may be contentious, that maybe usually have an effect, like a violent effect. People get inflamed and want to do something, but that they can have those discussions in a manner where the violence is absent, or the threat of violence is absent, and some of these important questions that I believe that need to happen, because the issues don't go away just because violence might occur as a result of discussing them. The issues don't go away until we discuss them and actually try and reach some resolve.
Yeah.
So I like that you've got the potential to
hammer it all out.
Yeah,
me too.
I like that. That's what I think is good about Speaker's Corner.
All right, see you later, Leon, yeah? Cheers.
No, I'm not talking about hypocrisy, I'm talking about lifestyle. Right, but minimising it can include eating some meat. Oh, well, why do you draw a line? Because it's not
that animal that you're eating. It doesn't matter whether you are flying less or if you're eating less meat. That animal that is dying so you can eat them, you're taking their life and they don't want to die.
And the same is true of animals that you've killed indirectly by relying on products that are made out of minerals that are mined
I'm not saying that I'm causing no suffering to
Central
animals.
African countries.
I'm minimising the suffering as much as I
And so do I try to. That's we're talking about the same principle. But I believe that I can still eat some meat, and that can be part of a balanced lifestyle and a balanced harmony with the natural world. And again, this is drawing on the wisdom of traditional cultures all through history. I'm not just making this stuff up out of thin air.
Do you think it's good to justify things that we do today based on what people did hundreds of years ago?
I believe we can learn lessons from people who have lived in it, because traditional cultures have lived more than any culture in history, and certainly our culture have actually lived in balance.
You're on a diet,
and that surely is the
and all
goal.
of a sudden
So
you get a craving.
a bit confused. So you're defending like eating meat.
It's like you get a craving.
Consciously.
When
you're used to eating, it's like sugar.
I'm saying that if you were conscious about what you eat and you were careful to try and maintain the balance of the ecosystem that supports you and all of life,
What does that look like in practice?
that might, for example, look like eating some animals that are well farmed, well raised in local farms near to you.
So all the meat that you eat.
No. I'm talking about this as an ideal. Same as you, we're talking about ideals, aren't we? This is our ideals that we aspire to in our hearts. Right? I aim towards this.
So you're saying that you're reducing animal suffering as much as possible, but
No, I try to.
So what you would actually be doing if you cared about animals would be being vegan. You could just not eat animals at all.
I try. Stop yourself from having those cravings.
We meet.
Okay, well, we can all play that game. None of us start from
So you don't look at it the same way. I know a steak tastes nice. I know bacon tastes nice. But I don't want to buy it. When I go in the shop, there's no chance of touching that because I know that I'm also horrific accident.
More animals, and they, like for example, the life of the cow. I don't know if you want to talk about the life of the cow.
Veal, yeah. So that's the dairy industry as well. So if you buy milk,
So what's your point? I agree with you.
Yeah, so it's not, to come back to the point, it's not sustainable. It's very cruel because we enslave this mother and she gives birth every 9 months, right, to baby cows.
Machine. What they do is that.
So if it's a girl that's born, obviously she ends up, she's going to be a slave like her mother, right? And giving birth. If it's a boy, he's shutting the house or it's keep alive for 7 years.
Right, but not all farming is the same. You're talking as if all agriculture all livestock is raised in the
Yeah,
same
the commercial,
way.
yeah, you're
No,
right.
indeed,
Yes,
indeed.
yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like that, and there are other possibilities. So I'm just disagreeing with the
You're
purity
saying
of your
better ways to do it,
philosophy.
It's okay for you to fund.
I'm not talking about what's okay for me, or I'm not. Did you know if you fund my lifestyle?
I'm trying to hold you accountable for the decisions you make.
Who are you telling me accountable? Only God can hold us.
You know, personally, I became.
But you do not have the right to judge me.
Fish say that they feel pain just like us.
I'm not judging you. Okay? I'm not making judgments on your character. So don't make judgments on mine.
I'm just saying that
Okay?
you're doing something that is literally no good.
You don't know me. Like this guy, you just assume because you're a vegan, you think everyone around you is
No, you just told me that
evil.
you buy animal products.
Right, exactly.
If you buy the dead animals' bodies, then you are causing suffering.
And I told you already, you've
don't
caused
have to.
suffering by using this big
Yeah, but
TV that you bought
we've
in.
explained what veganism
whatever,
is. It's like
like-
reducing animal suffering as much as you possibly can.
Okay, and I've said that I aspire to the same principle, reducing suffering of not just animals but all things.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so why do we
I don't
disagree?
think you are living in line with your own principles.
Well, that's nice. It's nice of you.
If you're vegan,
You have a very
you reduce
kind
the
view.
suffering of the plants as well, because when we actually artificially inseminate these animals, right? They obviously we bring into existence tons and trillions, billions of animals. These animals have to eat. What we do, we cultivate crops, soya, grains.
Okay, that's 25 minutes. You got a taste of what Speaker's Corner's like today. That's the Speaker's Corner show for this week. Tune in same time, roughly, about 3 o'clock next week for more of the same. Okay, I'll be up speaking myself in a minute. And Addy will be in command of the camera. So you can catch us in a few minutes, and Piers Corbyn will be along in a short while as well. Thanks very much, and you can tune in about 5 minutes for the next instalment.